And I would caution even Candace, this is even for her own benefit, because she's got a husband, she's got kids, she's a grifter. I think she's all about herself. She wants her show to be as big as possible at any cost. She'll stretch the truth. She'll conceal information and drip feed it so that she gets bigger views. She's flying too close to the sun, and I say that even for her own good. We need to be very careful moving forward. I'm not saying to stop the conversation. I'm saying we have to tread lightly. And they think that things will just keep going the way they've always gone. We have to fully embody who we are and what we are as Christian.
All right. Who had this on their bingo board that the voice of sound reason would be Nick Fuentes? Who in the world had that on their bingo board? Let's go.
Caution even Candace. This is even for her own benefit, because she's got a husband, she's got kids, and she's a grifter. I think she's all about herself. She wants her show to be as big as possible at any cost. She'll stretch the truth. She'll conceal information and drip feed it so that she gets bigger views. She's flying too close to the sun, and I say that even for her own good. It's not hard to see her winding up in an Alex Jones-like situation where she gets too big, she gets too hot, she slips up and she's careless. Something happens and they hold her liable for it, and they gun for her big time. And I'm not insinuating, I mean like they come for her legally, it's lawfare, whatever, and the same goes for Tucker, kind of. He's a little bit less reckless, but you could see that that's where it's going. So I would not be responsible if I didn't tell you that there are some serious risks here.
Yo, let me tell you right now, I'm not a Nick Fuentes fan, but this guy is on the far right, the alt-right, and he himself is even saying that Candace, Tucker Carlson, to a degree, have gone a little bit too far. They're going too far. They're being reckless. They're not being circumspect about what they're doing. Look, this is somebody who is as reckless can be. And he is even seeing, and he can even say, what we're saying is that Candace Owens is out of pocket. Shut out. Let's go.
Major potential vulnerabilities. And I see some of these people, they're not taking it seriously because they just, I don't know. They think it's a game. Maybe they haven't lived through it, but maybe they're sick themselves. But we got to be honest. We have to kind of clean some of this stuff up, or they're going to do it for us. Not that it's our obligation, but if there's not a sort of circumscribed policy about that stuff, there's the ambiguity is what they will use to come after us. That's why people need to kind of come out strongly and say, we're about this, not this. What we want is for Israel to leave us alone. We don't want them to run our government. We want Larry Ellison to stop buying the media. We think Bari Weiss is a spy. We want them to stop. But we're not about going and shooting people up and killing people and messing around with that. That's not right. There needs to be a hard line drawn on this, or like I said, they will use that to hang us, literally and figuratively, and then forget about it. We need to be very careful moving forward. I'm not saying to stop the conversation. I'm saying we have to tread lightly, because people are becoming convinced that the only direction we can go in is more based. It's always good, more extreme, more intense, more angry, more hateful, more extreme, more radical, always. And they think that you just keep hitting that button, it's just going to get better and better.
I have no idea what. Shout out to Nick. I mean, he is very clear, and he's speaking to his radical alt-right base, or his radical alt-right compatriots. So he's not talking to people who are not rolling like this. But what world are we in where Nick Fuentes is the voice of sound reason? Again, like, I didn't have this on my bingo board.
Outdoing each other. How radical can we get? How insane and extreme can we blame Jews for everything? Are we just absolute Hitler worshipers now? Are we in favor of a final solution? It's always more of that. And they think that things will just keep going the way they've always gone. which is to say that it was blue pilled, it got red pilled. It's going to go from here and get even more red pilled. And I'm telling you, no, that is not what's going to happen. What is going to happen soon is what happened 10 years ago, which is that when the conversation gets too hot, they do an operation. They run the op and they shut it down. It always happens.
I don't know what that
and
is.
they sweep all of it out with the nonsense, all of that out with the bad stuff, just like they did with Christchurch, just like they did with the Buffalo shooting. Do you remember that in 2018, 2019? It was a spade of far-right mass killings. It got 8chan taken down. It got Daily Stormer taken down. It got Twitter to begin purging everybody. YouTube, that's where censorship came from. And a part of me wonders, did they open it up and are they tolerating some of this stuff without any restrictions because they want it to overheat? Maybe that's the plan. They get the conversation to overheat, and then people welcome when it's shut down. They welcome a reasonable set of restrictions, a reasonable set of rules. And they'll be anything but that. That's what I'm really concerned about now when I see this, because I mean, I read stuff like this, and honestly, if this is you, we don't want anything to do with that. We can make jokes and we can have fun and we can be politically incorrect. I'm not trying to be the joke police. It's not about what's funny and not funny. It's about the fact that we have tangible political goals. And to that extent, we have to fully embody who we are. And what we are is Christian. We are not actually in favor of psychos killing people and threatening to kill people. That's not conducive actually to a harmonious society, which is what we want. And I don't.
Okay, I'm totally lost, y'all. I never would have expected to hear the most cogent response to the alt-right coming from Nick Fuentes. This is what we didn't get from Matt Walsh. This is what we didn't hear from Brett Cooper. I mean, it sounds like he's telling Candace Owens, like she's gone too far. Wow. I did not have this. I did not know that this was going to go this far. This is actually the last section.
I don't find that to be appealing at all. And if you do, I think you're sick.
Yo, shout out, man. Again, not a Nick Fuentes fan by any means or measures, but I'm willing to call a spade a spade. And this guy probably has the best response as somebody that we would consider alt-right to tell the alt-right to tamper it down. Now, does that mean do away with the ideas? I don't know. Maybe he needs to tease it out a little bit more, but that was probably the best and most clear, cogent response to the big tent scenario, right? And I've said this, like, people need to tell the folk on the alt-right that they have to reject and abominate some of their positions. And Nick is doing it. So I don't know if he'd be listening to me or what. No, shout out to you, man. But I think that's great, man. And let me also say this. I am not convinced of Nick Fuentes' Christianity. But he made a point that as Christians, we behave a certain way. And the way that he said is what I could affirm. So though I might question whether or not he's really a Christian, even in his declaration right there, that was kind of cogent. I was not prepared to sit here and be like, yeah, I agree with Nick like that. But anyway, I know a lot of you all don't rock with Nick. And the reason I bring his content in is because I want you to see that, hey, we can work with and listen to somebody that maybe isn't right. And I'm not just in an echo chamber where everybody over here is a Calvinist Presbyterian. No, I can hear from other people and give proper kudos and say, yeah, you know what? He's right. She's right. Spot on. Versus only people I listen to are people that look like and sound like exactly like me. That's not what I want to do here. And I want you all to prove that by jumping in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Give me a 2 cents. If you watched all the way to the end, I really appreciate it. I thank you so much for rocking with me. And if you don't mind, like this video, comment down below. What do you think? And I'll see you all next time. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Jay Witt Podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, please do me a favor and hit me up with that 3-piece special. Like the video, subscribe, and of course, share it with somebody who would also enjoy this type of content. And make sure you leave a comment because I do pin the best comments to the top. So thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace.